That's it. Cool. Waiting for pulling out.
That's why I make sure that's on the website.
Amazing. That's so cool. That's really, really cool. Love that.
It's about 3 seconds. It's about 3 seconds delay. It's not too bad. What does ready?
Well, it's been quiet tonight, isn't it?
It is. I tried to create something, and then I put it I was going to give it a little more party rate.
Is it going to be okay?
But it's what happened to all the cars.
That's rubbish. Is it worth, like...
Well, I have to, because I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
You know if anyone's having a small car, by the way? My friend's Ruth's looking to buy one. So if you hear of any, under a grand, smallish engine.
You're going to have to get in.
They're going to have to get in. New enough to have ISO fittings. But ISO fittings. ISO fittings, they're the things you have in, like for children's.
Oh, ISO fittings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen this? It's the 1960s, driving in heat time.
The quietest one.
I hope you told people that he said.
I did. Well, James is still going to come, and I thought Andrea would come. I'll give it a 5. Just give them an opportunity because I know Andrea's played in live.
I think we have one viewer.
We have a viewer. Who's it? Is it Andrea? You see?
Could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Right, if it gets super cold during the break,
Okay.
if it gets super cold during the break, I'll come back down.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Andrew is very adamant it should be every one. Yeah. On that side, it's like James.
2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pop on YouTube, put a note on there to say we're very good at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yes, so thank you.
so I'll put it as me.
So, you happy just for us to put you in there? You don't have a piece?
No.
Wow, Edwin! Would you like me to help you with that? Which do you fancy reading? You Maybe this.
Do you know what?
Yeah, we should have done. Those of you who remember any
Well, I'm just going to get a drink then. Hey, she just texted me as we speak.
Yeah, I literally my phone vibrated.
I can still read it if you don't like it.
You're looking great.
Well, looking up at your post, you can say something like cry.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Awesome. Okay.
So you say, Simon Option thinks you know about life.
Hello. Sorry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, now you're here. We're just very quiet today, so I'm just going to crack on. Thank you. Yeah. Well, now here, Seth, I've just remembered something that I need to talk to you about.
We need
Well, anyway, there's some people who
let's walk the bar.
Just remember what we can.
Is it 2 against 1? Wait for it to start. We will be starting shortly. 3.
How you doing? All right.
I'm not wrong.
Drum.
Is that a Chris?
Chris, no, it's a lemon.
No, it's 11 as well. I didn't have your glasses. It's all right. Well, all right. My car's broken. Impossible. Lots of money. But never mind. Cheese will get the steps.
You got a phone again?
Spices Road, some miles. Yes, and somebody driving by won't be Oh yeah, and because I did come straight here, I went up to Shady now.
Sorry, I forgot your name. Avery. You called in the car park and I was in the and then it was reversing.
Oh yeah.
We are live.
Okay.
You're good to go.
Thank you for waiting. By Simon Armitage.
At this moment in time, we'd like to invite first-class passengers only to board the aircraft.
Thank you for waiting. We now extend our invitation to exclusive, superior, privileged and Excelsior members, followed by triple, double and single platinum members, followed by gold, star, bronze card members, followed by pearl and coral card members. Military personnel in uniform may also board at this time. Thank you for waiting.
We now invite meteorite customers and passengers enrolled in our Rare Earth Metals Points and Rewards Scheme, and
Thank you for waiting. Accredited beautiful people may now board. Plus gentlemen carrying a copy of this month's Cigar Aficionado magazine. Plus subscribers to our Red Diamond, Blue Opal and Blue Garnet schemes.
we also welcome Sapphire, Ruby, emerald, and onyx members at this time, followed by amethyst, obsidian, jet, topaz, and quartz members.
On production of a valid receipt, travellers of elegance and style, wearing designer and or hand-tailored clothing, or flaunting individual pieces of jewellery, including wristwatches with a minimum purchase of $10,000, may now board.
We also welcome at this time passengers talking loudly to cell phone headsets about recently completed property acquisitions, share deals, and aggressive takeovers, plus hedge fund managers with proven track records in the undermining of small to medium-sized ambitions. Passengers in loam, chalk, marl, clay, they may also board. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you for waiting. Mediocre passengers are now invited to board, followed by passengers lacking business acumen or general leadership potential, followed by people of little or no consequence, followed by people operating a net fiscal loss as people. Scroungers, malingerers, spongers, and freeloaders may now step forward.
Those holding tickets for zones rust, mulch, cardboard, puddle, and sand might want to begin gathering their crumbs and tissues ready for boarding.
Passengers either partially or wholly dependent on welfare or kindness, please have their travel coupons ready to be validated at the quarantine desk. Sweat, dust, shoddy, scurf, turf, chaff.
Remnant ash, pus, sludge, clinker, splinter, and soot.
All you people are now free to board. And thank you for waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for watching on the live stream if you did us this evening. And welcome to Poetika 95, the celebration of our poet laureate, Mr. Simon Armitage. Over to Ria.
Hello. So, you might have heard him on radio before, or maybe you're like me, and that is on, isn't it? And you heard him on in your English anthology. So, just a little few things about him. Simon Armitage was born in 63.
Use the mic, darling.
Yeah, I thought it was working.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that works. Better. Simon Armitage was born in 1963 in the village of Marsden and lives in West Yorkshire. He's published 17 collections of poetry and is an accomplished film and TV writer. He regularly broadcasts on the radio. He's a postgraduate at Manchester University, and his MA thesis concerned the effects of television violence on young offenders. And until 1994, he worked as a probation officer in Greater Manchester, which I think is did his dad do that as well? I think.
Yes, his dad did.
Yeah. So he was named the Millennium Poet in 1999. In 2004, he was elected Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature, and in 2010, he was awarded the CVD for services to poetry. So as a service to him, we are celebrating his work this evening. So I'm going to start you off with a poem of his called I Speak as Someone. I speak as someone whose skin was thinner than gold leaf, with a soul so porous the world blew through him in a light breeze, whose coffin landed his heart in his palm many times, and as someone who sailed the panicky seas of his own blood. In Naples Harbour, the summer served its 10-day quarantine below deck, till the air wasn't fit to drink. Now bats roost in the plush colonnades of human veins, and naked arms are offered up to the dewy-eyed syringe. So my tired hand must hover over the seance again to write. No life without death, no death without life, just semaphore flags and fragile bottles bobbing from coast to coast, freighted with ink and breath. Thank you, Simon Armitage. So, let's see, who am I going to call upon? Yes, well, there aren't many of you. How about John Bruce? Would you like to read us some Simon Armitage poetry?
I would be delighted.
Sorry, people who are waiting live. Well, thank you for waiting.
Well, can't you do
I can do somebody else.
no, I didn't mean that. Like a little song or a joke. Right.
Okay, thank you for waiting.
Thank you for waiting.
There you go.
I like this.
Right, so this is remains. On another occasion, we got sent out to tackle looters raiding a bank, and one of them legs it up the road, probably armed, possibly not. Well, myself and somebody else are all of the same mind, so all three of us opened fire. Three of a kind, all letting fly. And I swear I see every round as it rips through his life. I see broad daylight on the other side, so we've hit this looter a dozen times, and he's there on the ground, sort of inside out. Pain itself, the image of agony. One of our mates goes by and tosses his guts back into his body, then he's carted off in the back of a lorry. End of story. Except not really. His blood shadow stays on the street, and out on patrol, I walk right over it week after week. Then I'm home on leave. But I blink, and he bursts again through the doors of the bank. Sleep, and he's probably armed and possibly not. Dream, and he's torn apart by a dozen rounds, and the drink and the drugs won't flush him out. He's here in my head when I close my eyes, dug in behind enemy lines. Not left for dead in some distant, sun-stunned, sand-smothered land, or 6 feet under in desert sand, but near to the knuckle, here and now, his bloody life in my bloody hands.
Hello, hello. I'm going to bring James up to the stage, and let's give him a clap. Find your way through.
Thank you for waiting.
Yeah, it's going to be the line of the evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, my intro, you know.
Fuck off.
Okay, that's not Okay, so I found this one spoke to me. And it's called An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations by Simon Armitage. Compiling this landmark anthology of poetry in English about dogs and musical instruments is like swimming through books. To date, I have only on the death of Mrs. Tuesday Pug, killed by a falling piano, a somewhat obvious choice, true. An ankle in heart whispers alluringly in the background of the anonymous sonnet. The huntsman's hound, but beyond that, silence. I should resist this degrading donkey work in favour of my own writing, wherein contentment surely lies. But A. Smith stares smugly from the reverse of the £20 note. And when my bank manager guffaws, small particles of saliva stream like a meteor shower through the infinity of dark space between his world and mine.
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Right, Mike, please, can you come up to the stage? What have you got for us today? He's prepared. He has his poetry.
I don't think it can beat last
Thank you for waiting.
Well, I didn't know too much about Mr. Simon Armitage. So I watched a YouTube interview with him and thought, wow, what an amazing guy. What an amazing guy I thought he was. So this is a poem inspired by a YouTube interview with Mr. Simon Armitage. And it was actually called, the title of the YouTube video was Poetry is a Form of Dissent, which is, those are Simon Armitage's words, which I thought, that's great, what a lead in. So I start with his line, poetry is a form of dissent. It's obstinate, battle cries from the awkward squad. It's alternative, independent thought. It can never be mainstream. It doesn't flow down the main street. It's a walk on the wild side. It's incredibly fucking valuable for those reasons and more. You've got to be something of a rebel, an outsider, a brave soul to play around with words, come up with your own take on your own life in this crazy world. Put your own spin on it. Us poets spin like centrifuges, the words flying out of our mouths until they stick in someone's ear or vanish into the night. What kind of world are we in? We can make love, we can make war, different types of connection, tenderness or violence, a choice made by human hearts. Tenderness soothes, violence wounds. Most of us know both. We reach for words in the air and soil around us. Put them together. Gather here to speak them. We may be bad or sad, or mad or glad, but we gather together. We want to communicate something. Turning, fabricating, shaping thoughts into spoken words here at the Poetika factory. Thank you.
Yeah! Oh, that was great. That's a really good advert for us. Thank you. Can you put it on the website? Which is that's true. Type it up and put it on the website as well. That would be really good because it makes us look great. Thank you.
We are.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you, everybody. Small group of great tonight.
Don't pat the act.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't need that one. Okay, so Simon Armitage. Simon Armitage was a really, really great inspiration to me when I was 16 and doing my GCSEs and was a massive, massive emo. But through learning about him and Carol Ann Duffy in GCSE English, I really discovered a love for poetry. So I'm going to humiliate myself by reading a poem that I wrote when I was 16. And I'm not entirely sure what it's about, so if anybody has any suggestions, I can't actually remember what this one is about. But thank you, Simon Armitage, for inspiring me to write poetry. And I've seen him twice, by the way. I do actually really like the chap. This one is called The Other Hand, written by 16-year-old Ria. Touching bricks, I don't really know why, cemented together and frozen in time, a chimney away to the sky, and cold smoke enveloping lungs, with desire to clasp a heart and own, dragging from it a thread of tied handkerchiefs that fall limply to the floor, multicoloured magic tricks, faded, failed. An old lady, awake in the antiseptic night, a lit corridor seeping into her walking dreams, her living, simply sleeping, each function of a failing body, witnessed, examined, dignity a futile fight to the death, and she cries to be alive again. I think of paper, blank and calmly fronted, craving words, carving symbols onto white, seems almost destructive. To create is to destroy, and perhaps that's what I do when I write to tell you of tragedy and love, as you create extra years, destroying nature, I wonder. The nature of love is to exist as one, torn is incomplete, But it's not myself that I've ripped. You stand before me, naked, split in two. One arm reaches, cradles, holds, and the left is a weaker limb that reaches for life outside of me, for sterile beauty and lands unseen. Perhaps a friendship that might not have been, but the other is still dropping handkerchiefs. I don't really know what the handkerchiefs are about, and I don't know what I was pissed off with somebody about. But anyway, apparently I had two hands. Okay, so I'm going to read you another Simon Armitage poem, and after that, oh, if I can find it, these are all slippy, someone's going to read a poem about lofts. Right?
Well, yeah.
Sounds uplifting.
It's Mother Any Distance, which is a great poem.
You've got them all there, I think, Bodie.
Okay.
It's not the one you threw on the floor.
No, it genuinely wasn't.
All right.
You know what, Edwin, can you come and read us your poem about lofts?
Well,
I'm sorry, and then I'll read Mother Any Distance by Simon Armitage. Because it features lofts, that was the tenuous link. I am sorry, Edwin. That's a very,
the attic.
yeah.
Not at all. Yeah.
No, it's not locked at all.
Lots too posh, isn't it?
Well, I keep calling it loft because it's easier to spell than attic. And my wife keeps telling me, no, it's not an attic, it's a loft.
You don't call it cash in the loft, though, do you?
No, they don't. No.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Loft is easier to spell, you know. Anyway, the attic. No, I'm not going soft. I'm sure it's in the loft. That's quite cool, the loft. No, I'm not going soft. I'm sure it's in the loft. I'm just not quite sure where. Be careful, that will tear. Now, that should have a base. Maybe it's in this case. If we give this a heave, perhaps it's under the eaves. Sorry, I really must clean out all this horrid dust. Do you remember when, so long ago back then, you kids were all so young and I was really strong? Yes, I can hear what you say. Just throw it all away. One day you chuck it out. Wait till I'm not about. You can rent a big skip and take it all to the tip. Yes, you heard what I said, but please wait till I'm dead. It's not just junk like it seems. These things are my dreams, kept here in case maybe you have a new baby. I hope you're still trying. Oh, please don't start crying. No, I didn't mean it. Of course you mustn't quit. Oh, we are in a state, it's getting quite late. Let's have a cup of tea, and then maybe we'll see. Thank you. It rhymes.
I didn't notice that at all.
Well, apologies.
Say hello to Ian.
Hello, Ian!
Ian!
Apparently Ian is watching us. Hello, Ian! Shout out to our lost member.
Ian's always watching us, isn't he?
God. Hello in Scotland. Okie dokie. So this is the poem that I couldn't find, and actually it ties in really well with your poem because it's also about attics and lofts. This is Mother Any Distance by Simon Armitage. Mother Any Distance greater than a single span requires a second pair of hands. You come to help me measure windows, pelmets, doors, the acres of the walls, the prairies of the floors. You at the zero end, me with a spool of tape, recording length, reporting meters, centimeters back to base, then leaving up the stairs, the line still feeding out, unreeling, years between us, anchor, kite. I spacewalk through the empty bedrooms, climb the ladder to the loft, to breaking point, where something has to give. 2 floors below your fingertips, still pinch, the last 100th of an inch. I reach towards a hatch that opens on an endless sky, to fall or fly. Okie dokie. I was going to bring Destiny up, but I can't see her. So, are you you prepped?
Not yet.
Okay, right. Hey.
Yeah,
Are you reading, Amy?
Yeah, why not?
Thank you for waiting.
You got to do the headset with it, baby.
Thank you for no. That's just more like flattering, isn't it?
Stepford Wives.
Yeah. Here you go.
I'll be honest, I don't know if it fits in with the theme because it was a bit of a last minute decision to come. I've missed the last few because I've been in hospital, so bear with me. Rain dropping like broken glass, scattering, hurtling upon umbrellas and roofs of cars. It seeps into the gaps between the concrete streets that snake round towers of brick and stone. Imagine being rich enough to call one home. Does one voice echo down their halls alone? Three bathrooms, 6 bedrooms, maybe even a garden. The woman outside the station says she'd take just one room. She's freezing and she's starving. Weaving between cars, caught in lines of traffic, the only thing left in the city that's static. Cobblestone paths being consumed by cement. When modern England takes over, I wonder what will be left. From gigs to pubs, from bars to clubs, we've conquered them all. From underage drinking on the lots with the punks when we should have been in school. Trains ripped through skyscrapers, tearing them like paper. The public wanted to save the page, but Parliament cried bigger. So we said goodbye to markets spilling across Camden, selling food and trinkets. Goodbye to doughy pizza, the size of my adolescent phase. Hello to quick links and ahead of the race, but we are tired of running. We want the once was, the thatched roofs, disturbing, delightful tales of London burning. I long to feel its history close to me, all that has been. Is this growing older? One thing that will never change is that rain beating harder.
I think you need to get yourself a really, really good umbrella. No, that's great. Thank you. Right, Destiny, welcome up.
Okay, so I would hope that you can all bear with me. Hold on.
Might just go a little bit closer to the mic. Yes, good. Thank you.
I am from some other time and place, inhabiting another realm and space, an extraordinary alien race. I am 84% Palladian race. Your dark matter is dense and parched, where mine is expanding, evergreen, and so vast. We're so caught up on the changing, but why can't we quit around the joke? I'm not ready.
Look, old baby,
Carry
go
on.
again.
You
Go
can
from
do
the
it.
top. Let's have it.
Okay. I'm from some other time and place, inhabiting another realm and space. An extraordinary alien race. I am 81.4% Palladian mate. Your dark matter is dense and parched, where mine is expanding, evergreen and vast. Why so caught up on the changing? Why can't we quit around with the joking and actually get on with changing? So sick and tired of burdens, constantly hating. It's been so long. I've forgotten what were I. So sick and so burdened, constantly hating. It's been so long. I have forgotten what were we debating. I think it's about time we sat down and have a bit of self-relating. I'm so.
You got
Keep going.
You got this. You got this. Great.
Let's pick it up again.
It's fine.
Can I try and read it at the end, please?
Of course you
Of course
can.
you can.
Thank you.
See, it's great. We leave it on a cliffhanger. Okie dokie. Nikki, would you like to come up?
Am I this? I think I'm the last one, aren't I? I'm the last one. There we go.
I was the last one to leave the party as well. Okay, so, like yourself, Mike, I think it was you who made reference, I was a bit of a Neanderthal when it came to our poet laureate, Nathaniel Armitage, because I won't say his name enough times tonight. And I started investigating a few months back when I knew we were going to do this evening, and fuck me, am I annoyed with myself that I have never discovered this amazing poet before. I was kick my own arse. So
Well done it for you.
I bet you will, little cost so yeah, really, really inspiring man, and obviously being a fellow Northerner, his writing really spoke to me. He's a little bit older than me. Get rid of that. His writing really spoke to me because he doesn't take any prisoners. He doesn't bullshit, and he doesn't beat around the bush neither. And I don't know anybody else like that, to be honest with you. But anyway, yeah, he's a Yorkshireman. My mother was Lancastrian, so we won't mention the War of the Roses. But this one spoke to me quite a lot. I'm going to read two, and I think going to a break then, aren't we, Mia? Yeah. Okay, so this is one of his most famous pieces. It's called Camera Obscura by Simon Archich. 8-year-old sitting in Bramall's field. Shoes scuffed from kicking a stone. Too young for a key, but old enough now to walk the short mile back from school. You spied your mother down in the village, crossing the street, hurting her fist. In her other hand is a shopping bag, and it nurses 4 ugly potatoes caked in mud. A tin of peas, rags of meat, a tail of fish in greaseproof paper. The price totted up in penciled columns of shillings and pence. How warm must she be in that winter coat? On Old Mount Road, the nearer she gets, the smaller she shrinks, until you reach out to carry her home on the flat of your hand, or your fingertip. And then she just disappears. Thank you. Who whistled me then? Hey, see you later. Jokes. This is a bit more of a serious poem, but it's so beautifully written. And this is called Poem. And if it snowed, and snow covered the drive, he took a spade and tossed it to one side, and always tucked up his daughter at night, and slippered her the one time she lied. And every week he tipped up half his wage, and what he didn't spend each week, he saved. And praised his wife for every meal that she made. And once, for laughing, punched her in the face. And for his mum, he hired a private nurse, and every Sunday taxied her to church. And he blubbed when she went from bad to worse. And twice, he lifted 10 quid for the purse. Here's how they rated him when they looked back. Sometimes he did this, sometimes he did that. Thank you. Right, we're going to a break. 10 minutes. 10 minutes and we'll be back there. Bye-bye.
Come see you if you haven't given us any money.
Give us your bloody money, honey.
No, yeah, Destiny's paid for you. You're fine. Yes, she has. No. No, she didn't pay for you. Why did you say that?
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I know.
I managed to get one like that. Who's bar now?
Okay.
You got more brilliant flowers, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a poor decision.
Oh, hey, it's ambitious. Oh, you've got real.
It's still streaming.
That's going to be out my
Thank you. Sorry, I can't breathe. I need you give me change. How are you?
I missed you more.
Well, let's see.
We'll do quite a quick break.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn the speakers up.
Okay.
Linda said it. Yeah, it's here.
have it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great. It's nice to. Yeah, I feel real sleep because he hasn't seen my messages since like way earlier. I know when he's getting Kelly, I was going to sleep and then wakes up again like hopefully in time to sleep the second half, but I don't know if it's. I'm sending a semi-passive aggressive message saying, are you going to Barcelona?
No, I'm not.
No,
We miss you too, Ian. Oh. You can hear us.
Yeah? You go around north, by the chance?
No.
Why can you
I
stood there?
was born in Salisbury. I used to Salisbury weather.
I say you stood there in a t-shirt. Are you not affected by the weather?
Unless it's like, I'm one of those people that I go out and when it's snowing, I go out and shoot
Ah, okay.
Yeah. If I get too hot, that's it. I can't do it for anybody.
Right.
Cold, I so if it's cold, you put layers on. You can't. So it's,
No.
yeah. Cold never really affected me too much.
Well, I didn't think it could have stood there in a t-shirt. It's a bit wonky that bit, isn't it?
Yes. Obviously, it's screwed me doing.
It's kind of strange this room because it's almost inside, but yet it's outside.
Yes.
It's sort of an inside-outside.
Yes. And that's like it's great.
Yeah, I love it as a space.
Yeah. It's ideal. The acoustics are really good as well. I went to 5.
Gone to 5.
We're down to 3 now, but they obviously want a break. Lydia's been commenting a couple of times. And Ian's been commenting on Facebook page. Happy G's watching as well. Oh, Andrew wanted.
Wait. Get mulled wine.
Oh, Edwin!
Yes.
Excellent. Where is everyone?
Well, there's only like half a dozen anyway. It's just
Oh, is it?
low attendance.
Oh, is it over there?
No, half time.
Oh, it's half time.
Yeah. They're smoking in here.
Oh,
Doing
John won't mind if you sit.
hey.
Yeah, no, you sit there and I'll sit next to you. Please to see, I will sit.
Oh, no, I've just got one of those days. Yeah. Anyway, it's ending now. Just like I did.
What kind?
Like what? That's why I left you that.
I'm sorry. No,
It's
sorry.
just I just made a nice
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. People don't do these things so that other people notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like unexpected, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no.
So I put
Well, it must be like the university.
How's everyone? They're all smoking, so we might do a 5-minute capital. That's a bit chilly now, isn't it?
They'll come back on for it.
Yeah, I should. I'll go some more.
Right.
Oh, is this your book? Yes. Well, I've only got the, what's his name, the Word doc. But I'm afraid
They're just going to give us a basket tea and we'll go and play.
That's
Because everyone's cold. Basket tea.
oh, okay.
So it's slightly surprising.
You've got about 5 minutes, folks, but we're just having a little bit of heat quickly because I think everyone's a bit chilly, and the Wintergate now have heaters. So 5 minutes, folks.
Yeah?
Does this one go on as well?
Absolutely, that would be great.
It's too hot for the aircon.
Are you reading another phone round?
Yeah, it's the wrong one.
I can't see. Working class here.
Nice.
Tribute society.
Yeah. That would be great. Excellent. Is there anything you'd like to read? In the second half? Okay. Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah.
Amy. Amy. Are you going to take one? Yeah, I'll try and find. Yes, please. I haven't seen her interview yet. I know, I heard. How are you feeling? A little bit better. Yeah. Are you working again or are you still off? On Monday I will be. Okay. Yeah, fine. Look after yourself. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, it's really tough. I finally have been referred. They think we might have come. Yeah. Yeah, it's really rare, so it might not be, but then, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I got it. So it's like, there's loads of different types of it. And there's loads of different things in the cause, but it's why I'm bending my fingers backwards. Oh, yeah, like yeah. It causes like muscles as well. And like, yeah, and it can cause like yeah. That's what they think. They might not. They told me they were going to do it. I was like, oh, okay, we'll do it through the stop. And then they went, oh, actually, Ty's like, I was like, yeah, I'm like, no. I was like, yeah, they could have listened to me. Yeah, when I started mentioning it. Well, yeah. I love your hair, by the way. It's so cool. That's so nice. How are you? I'm okay. I'm just hopefully it's fine. Like nothing. Yeah. It's okay. I just can't wait. Like that. Yeah. Are you doing anything nice? Or are you just like chilling? That's nice. To be fair. Yeah. It's working. Yeah. Like, I'm not very fast. Lovely to meet you. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
We're lovely, people, feel welcome, feel warm. Yeah, yeah, and it's quite nice, like cats here, like parks. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna kind of round it back up my thing now. I'm gonna so where would you like to be? I'll make sure you I feel like I may be right now. Okay. Do you want to go sooner rather than later, or do you want to go later? Okay, that's cool. I don't know.
She's still in your money. Yeah.
Can't mind, we need the heaters off. Yeah, we're in the expo. Right. Welcome back. Thank you for waiting. Yes, we like the heating. So it's been turned off, don't you worry. I thought I'd just say hello so people knew what was happening. I don't think we're going to have a long second half. If you can wrap up warm. Thank you very much, Amy. We're really pleased to have the heaters. Okay, right, so I'm going to kick off the second half with another Simon Armitage poem because this is his evening after all. Simon Armitage, if you happen to be watching on our live stream, thank you so much. Somehow I don't think you are, but you never know. But we are glad to have our live stream up. So, hello out there to our viewers. I think we have Abby G Poetry from Bournemouth here. So shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. It's strange, I feel famous. Right, okay, picture. I know. I've been tired, under the weather, but the answer phone kept screaming. One more sick note, mister, and you're finished. Fired. I thumbed a lift to where the car was parked. A Vauxhall Astra. It was hired. I picked him up in Leeds. He was following the sun from west to east with just a toothbrush and the good earth for a bed. The truth, he said, was blowing in the wind or around the next bend.
I let him have it, on the top braid out of Harrogate, once with the head, then 6 times with the crooklock in the face, and didn't even swerve. I dropped it into third, and then to cross, to let him out, and saw him in the mirror, bouncing off the curb, then disappearing down the verge. We were the same age, give or take a week. He'd said he liked the breeze, to run its fingers through his hair. It was 12 noon. The outlook for the day was moderate to fair. Stitch that, I remember thinking. You can walk from there. Very grim, I know. Okie dokie. I think, John, you were going to read us another Simon Armitage poem as well, weren't you?
I can do so.
Yep. Cool, welcome up.
I shall use the other stairs. To his lost lover. Now they are no longer any trouble to each other. He can turn things over, get down to that list of things that never happened, all of the lost, unfinished business. For instance, how he never clipped and kept her hair or drew a hairbrush through that style of hers and never knew how not to blush at the fall of her name in close company. How they never slept like buried cutlery, 2 spoons or forks cupped perfectly together, or made the most of some heavy weather. Walked out into the hard rain under sheet lightning, or did the gears while the other was driving. How he never raised his fingertips to stop the segments of her lips from breaking the news, or tasted the fruit, or picked for himself the pear of her heart, or lifted her hand to where his own heart was a small, dark, terrified bird in her grip, where it hurt, or said the right thing, or put it in writing, and never fled the black mile back to his house before midnight, or coaxed another button of her blouse, then another, or knew her favourite colour, her taste, her flavour, and never ran a bath or held a towel for her, or soft-soaped her, or whipped her hair into an ice cream cornet, or a beehive of lather, or acted out, or turned, or misbehaved when he might have, or worked a comb where no comb had been, or walked back home through a black mile hugging a punctured heart where it hurt, or helped her hand to his butterfly heart in its 2 blue halves, and never almost cried, and never once described an attack of the heart, or under a silk shirt nursed in his hand her breast, her left like a tear of flesh, wept by the heart where it hurts, or brushed with his thumb the nut of her nipple, or drank intoxicating liquors from her navel, or christened the pole star in her name, or shielded the mask of her face like a flame, a pilot light, or stayed the night, or steered her back to that house of his, or said, "Don't ask me how it is, I like you, I just might do." How he never figured out a fireproof plan, or unravelled her hand as if her hand were a solid ball of silver foil, and discovered a lifeline hiding inside it, and measured the trace of his own alongside it. But said some things and never meant them, sweet nothings anybody could have mentioned, and left unsaid some things he should have spoken about a heart where it hurt exactly, and how often.
Thank you very much, John. It's really good to have heard lots of poems by Simon Armitage this evening, so thank you everyone for appreciating him. Right, I would like to bring up a newcomer now, so Sadie or Hades, depending on which stick, so I'm told. So let's all make her feel very welcome. You may never leave.
I want it anyway. That'll do. Everyone can hear me. It's fine. So, this poem is called Triple X, but I would like to start off by saying I'm not liable for any therapy bills that incur as a result of this. Are we all clear?
Oh, yeah.
Um, it is abuse, and it's just abuse, and it's also rape as trigger warnings. So
Okay,
if
cool.
anyone's uncomfortable,
Cool.
this is called Triple X. It's 2 a.m. and you text me, I miss you. It catches me off guard because in fact the only thing you miss is my body. But I miss you and me. I don't know where to go, who to see. The worst thing is, I think in the past you've assaulted me, physically, mentally. How do I still justify that to myself? This was a love worthy of back alleys, of bolted doors and blood on silk sheets, spilling ink, no apologies. High heels and please don't hurt me's. Rope and hands to wrist, always forcing it. Lines, lies, pills and more, and I'm always fucking coming down from it. I probably need therapy or maybe another whiskey. I don't know why my heartache is still a neon sign flickering in front of my face. It's been nearly 3 years since the end, and there is no kissing, touching, forcing, or fucking, finally. They say it takes 7 years to replace every cell in your body. That means I am almost a seventh of the way towards owning a skin that you did not ruin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing first poem to show at Poetika. Well done, you. Thank you. That was really great. Okay, I am going to. That's who I was going to bring up. Mr. James over there, hiding by the post. You ready for us? Come on up.
I'll do something. Okay, so I must admit I didn't remember much of Simon Armitage, and the stuff that I did read about him I related to what everyone's been reading and saying about him, and it's some more reading for me to do, I think. But I have written this one, and I will try and perform it as best I can. It's called Full Steam Ahead. I like trains. As a young performer, I used to sing and dance. I wanted to do drama at school, but I was told I was too intelligent.
Oi.
I used to perform plays and sing in a choir. My God, I love to be on stage. But public school pushed me through bullies and ridicule, something which I used to take to heart. So much so that it crushed my performance art, put out my flame like a snuffer. All the kids would stare and mutter, words of insults that shattered like this glass. No, I won't. But now, but now, I have grown into a real tough motherfucker. Learned to channel and control all of my emotions and power into this poetry, my passion. The courage and the fire that was always there smouldering, dumbed down by drugs, now surging, stoked and burning once again, morphing that pain into more passion as coal turns to steam in the boiler. Turning my wheels, pushing me forward, driving my dreams. I can't stop now. There's no going back. Eloquent excellence of poetical facts. You heard it here first. I stand before you a new man, changed and grown. Fasten your seatbelts, get ready, mind's blown. Centuries from now you may see me in some old folks' home, still performing, pushing those boundaries, questioning authority, never on my knees, never give up, never cower, never falter. No matter how steep, arduous or tough, just build your own altar. Worship your dreams, it's your life, your steam. Just keep throwing in coal. Yeah, all that dark, black, dirty stuff, just keep piling it in. Build your goal, for when you put that flame to it, boom! That's it. You're in. All aboard! actually wrote some poetry for I fully intended to go to the Abhijit's poetry thing in Bournemouth, and it was on ranting and raving and sort of anger poems, close to my heart. There's quite a few, to be honest. I absolutely went mad. Okay. This one. This one's called Propaganda and Profiteering. Propaganda and profiteering, rackets, corruption and puppeteering. The Punch and Judy show known as civilised society. Far from civilised and far from social. Social behaviour is sometimes described as antisocial. In fact, the word anti is used to simply denigrate any one subject. The MO is always the same. Play both sides, tug the heartstrings, emotional blackmail and brainwashing. This is the black treacle tar that stains our world, created from the oil, the fermented lifeblood of the forest. Rainbows and thank yous on the roads, that's where our NHS nurse pay rise went. Those bastards just love to sing their praises and all we get is told to our faces. How to act, how to think, how to be. Tell me, dear people, do you not see the corruption, the injustice? No? You're on MTV. Tuned in on their frequency, dropped out from your own life. You see? Thank you.
I like trains too. They're pretty cool. Not sure Salisbury does at the moment, though.
Yeah, too soon. Was it too soon?
Too soon. Sorry, everybody. Also, I think I'm hungry because when you said black treacle tar, I was like, tart? Black treacle tart? That sounds alright. I think it sounds good. Like, black treacle tart. But yeah, the poem was good, but now I'm hungry. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Right, Mike, I believe you're going to sing for us. All right? So let's welcome up to the stage this working class hero.
Thank you. So I also learned about Simon Armitage that he's a songwriter and goes out with a band to this day gigging around and all places. So I thought I'd dedicate this song to him, which is a John Lennon song called Working Class Hero. I don't know if you ever met, but I think they'd get on pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
As soon as you're born, will they make you feel small by giving you no time instead of it all? Till you're so full of pain, you feel nothing at all. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. They hurt you at home and they hit you at school. They hate you if you're clever, they despise a fool. Till you're so fucking crazy, you can't follow their rules. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. They keep us doped with religion and sex and TV. We think we're so clever, so classless and free, but we're still fucking peasants as far as I can see. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. There's room at the top, they're telling you still. But first you must learn how to smile when you kill. If you want to be like the folks on the hill. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. If you want to be a hero, well, write in Helvetica. If you want to be a hero, come join us at Poetika.
about it.
Poetika, it's the only word I could find that rhymes with poet.
It was good. I knew it was good.
Okay, Amy, would you like to come up and read for us? Edwin, are you going to read anything in the second one?
I've got one called Poetika.
If you don't find that, you can read after Amy. I'll leave it low. We're about the same thing, really, I think.
It's like you know.
Is this one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? Cool.
No, I can't hear you.
Can you not?
Yes.
Oh. So again, it's not on theme. I'm really sorry. I was quite underprepared. But it's following on the last poem I did. If you could hear, I was rushing it. Was about my home in London. This poem is about the person that I shared a lot of those memories with. Sometimes I think you forget where you came from, dancing under streetlights in the heart of London. We didn't see stars, only headlights of cars. Now you count sheep while I pull at threads. I don't think it's quite dead yet. Deep down, my head says it's hopeless, but my heart says, fuck it, there's room to grow. You don't have to be present, you just have to show me that you still care. And that form of expression might have changed for you, but I can adapt. I just need to know it's worth it, because when I reach out and there's just a chasm, an echo of where your hand once was, as I scrape at the sides just to stay upright, but the ache of your absence is what keeps me up at night, pulling at those threads until I come unbound. And all the secrets that I've kept take on their own form to sabotage what we have left. I said I'm sorry, but I'm waiting for a reply. Do you still love me? Do you still love me? My thoughts blunder through the silence. My sadness becomes anger. I thought we were past this. You live your perfect life somewhere under the same moon, while I lie awake and pull at threads, because it's not dead yet, but it could be soon.
Thank you. I mean, that was great. I really liked the bit about the streetlights, seeing streetlights rather than stars. London's definitely like that. Thank you. Edwin, did you manage to find your poem?
I can't even remember which book it's in. But
Okay.
There.
Okay. Do you have a Simon Armitage poem?
I do, yes.
Fantastic. Come on up then, Nikki. Come and read us a Simon Armitage poem.
Okay. This is going to be round 2 because Johnny just stole my poem.
Oh.
It don't matter, it's such a good poem. Do you mind if I read it off the back of you?
Sure.
Cool. So again, this evening, to his lost lover. Now they are no longer any trouble to each other. He can turn things around, get down to that list of things that never happened, all of the lost, unfinishable business. For instance, how he never clipped and kept her hair or drew a hairbrush through that style of hers and never knew how to blush at the fall of her name in close company. How they never slept together like buried cutlery, 2 spoons and forks cooked perfectly together, or made the most of some heavy weather, walked out into hard rain under sheet lightning, or did the gears when the other one was driving. How he never raised his fingertips to stop the scent of her lips from breaking the news, or tasted the fruit, or picked for himself the pear of her heart, or lifted her hand to where his own heart was a small, dark, terrified bird in her grip, where it hurt, or said the right thing, or put it in writing, and never fled the black mile back to his home before midnight. Or coaxed another button of her blouse, then another, or knew her favourite colour, her taste, her flavour, and never ran a bath or held a towel for her, or soft-soaped her, or whipped her hair into an ice cream cornet, or a beehive of lather, or acted out of turn or misbehaved when he might have. Or whipped a comb where no comb had been, or walked back home through the black dark mile hugging a punctured heart, or it hurt, or helped her hand to his butterfly heart in its two blue halves, and never almost cried, and never once described attack of the heart, or under a silk shirt nursed in his hand her breast, her left, like a tear of flesh, wept by the heart where it hurts, or brushed with his thumb the nipple, brushed with his thumb the nut of her nipple, or drank intoxicating liquor from her navel, or christened the pole star in her name, or shielded the mask of her face like a flame, a pirate light, or stayed the night, or steered her back to that house of his. Don't ask me how it is I like here. I just might, sir. How he never figured out a fireproof plan or unravelled her hand as if it was a solid ball of silver foil, and discovered a lifeline hiding inside it, and then measured the trace of his own alongside it. But said some things and never meant them. Ignored sweet nothings anybody could have mentioned, and left unsaid some things he should have spoken. About the heart, where it hurt exactly, and how often. Thank you.
Alrighty, Edwin. Microphone. Alrighty, Edwin has found his poem, finally in his books of poetry.
Yes.
Many books of poetry.
Well, yeah, many. It's a shame nobody ever buys them and reads them.
Prolific poet.
You can't have everything, you know. I like to think I'll be really famous when I'm dead.
Aww, we'll make you famous.
We'll make you
You're on
after work.
You're on the internet.
That's true, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. It's poetry night. It's poetry night at the Pheasant. I really should dream up a poem, but I can't think of anything pleasant. Maybe some sort of second-rate chant might give me something to please them. It's poetry night at the Pheasant, and I want to give some amusement. Even McGonagall had his gems, but I can't think of anything pleasant. What about the frightening lament of medieval ghosts at Old Sarum? It's poetry night at the Pheasant. Hit him. It would be just self-defence, legit.
I like
that
poem.
Yeah. Hit him.
It's all part of that.
I've got a technical glitch here. That is.
Thank you for waiting.
That's the poet from the pit. That's another one.
It's the Winchester Gate that didn't like you mentioning the peasants.
Yeah, somehow Jamie is in control of this and he's muting you.
Hang on, the poet from the pit. No. Poetry night at the Pheasant. It's poetry night at the Pheasant.
We've had that bit.
And my tired ideas are abhorrent. I must have something they won't condemn, but I can't think of anything pleasant. I really can't give them that old rent. What about the time I almost 7 p.m. It's poetry night at the Pheasant, and I can't think of anything pleasant. I'm sorry about this.
No, we like it.
This thing was second-hand when I got it. The poet.
The poem wasn't second hand.
Yeah.
And maybe Winchester Gate's easier to rhyme with.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until Winchester Gate.
Yeah, you get in a state that Winchester.
Southampton Art House. The bloke wants to be a poetry star, stand up and show off his brand new essay in the Art House Cafe on Above Bar. And he's got a mate there who plays guitar, and they drank a few, and he gets up to say, this bloke wants to be a poetry star. He's got the right, there's time for one star, and then he started a total affray in the Art House Cafe and above bar. He hadn't had his meds, he sunk a jar, so dropped his pants, put it all on display. Then the bloke wants to be a poetry star. But getting it all out was way too far. The stripping caused a lot of dismay in the Art House Cafe and above bar. They all said new poets are too bizarre. So, gotta say, there is no way the bloke wants to be a poetry star in the Art House Cafe and above bar. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that. So I think we need to write one about the Winnie Gate now.
Yeah.
Or just add in a verse about it. Yes.
You can buy a new what's it?
Yeah. Thank you, Edwin. Shout out to Linda from Riverboard Yoga, who has just told us we're doing a fantastic job, which we are. Thank you, everybody, for doing a fantastic job.
We're not quite at all, are we? Really?
No, we're great. Mike, would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, could you say hello to my brother in Australia?
Is he watching?
He might
He might be. Hello, Mike's brother in Australia, who might be watching.
Pete.
Pete! If you're not watching, you can be watching it. You'll watch it again, right?
Yeah, watch it on the repeat.
Okay, so Pete in Australia, Pete on repeat.
Thank you.
And maybe now, who knows?
Thank you.
Anyone else want to do a shout out?
Well, that's exactly
Mum and Dad.
I think Will's in his hotel room somewhere, but he might not be. So hello, Will, if you are there. Okie dokie. Right.
Sounds really dodgy.
It really does. Enjoy yourself, Will. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Okay, Destiny. Come on.
All right, I think it was just the first half that was tripping me up. I think I got it now.
New and better half.
I'm starting again though.
That's okay.
I'm from some other time and place, inhabiting another realm and space, an extraordinary alien race. I am 81.4% Palladium mate. Your dark matter is so dense and parched, but mine is expanding, evergreen and vast. Why so caught up on the changing? Stop playing around, and can we actually change things? So sick and tired of the burden, continuously hating. It's been so long, I've forgotten. What were we debating? I think it's about time we sat down and did a bit of self-relating. I am going ahead and speaking my mind. Quit holding my tongue, your thoughts are not mine. So knotted and tied, I have been spun. Life is all for living and having some fun. We can never truly grow old, only grow young. All up for the dancing, there is a song to be sung, and many more one-afters still yet to come. When will you start believing the universe is inside you, speaks through you, runs through you, imagines through you, breathes through you, loves you? When will you start feeling you are put on this earth, she is in need of great healing? I sense it through feelings, feel it in every fibre of my being. Being you, being me, being here, right now. Experience this moment together. There is no way we can be one of the biggest chance anomalies.
Well done. That was great. It's just that bloody first half. It's giving bad vibes. It's going really
Bloody
bad.
first half.
Screw you! Second half now. And we're near the end of the second half, I believe. Can I just check before I read my pieces? Is there anyone that hasn't read that would like to read? No, cool. Okay, so I thought I'd do one from back in the day, when I was 16 and when I suddenly realised that poetry was pretty cool, and one from today. I think they're nearly 16 years apart, but not quite, so I'm not 32 yet. That is the right maths, isn't it? So this one's called The Pink Wig, and the other one's called Lilac Champagne, so colours. Right,
This is about a teacher from my primary school. She says she's going to wear a pink wig to cover her naked head that today she covers with a simple black hat. She looks so small beneath the brim. Her eyes are rimmed with red. But I don't think that she's been crying, because her body's failing doesn't mean her fire's dying. She is on her feet. Her hands are gloved and small, keeping the warmth inside. The weakening fragile frame is still the same. She has the strength to walk beside people who are scared. She is not scared. She is here smiling. She's not dying. She stands before me laughing. My hair and the pink wig, there's no difference. It's a realization she understands. Her conversation is still normal. Her embrace is not a just-in-case goodbye. It's okay. She knows she is still who she always was. It never changes. She is as beautiful as every other day she has lived. There's beauty in destruction, and the pink wig is no distraction from the truth. The truth is already there. It's an acceptance of a life worth living. There's still passion. She's already won the battle in her mind. She is the same.
When you read something old and then you realise how sad you were. Okay, this one. Does anyone know Funny Bones? You know, in the dark street. Well, this isn't Funny Bones, but I plagiarised it somewhat. You might recognise this one. Sorry, Lilac Shell. In an old posh town with an old posh abbey, there was a long, long street. And on the long, long street, in the old bank house, an old man lived behind the lilac wall. In the lilac house was an old sick wife, in a quilted bed, with wilted legs and a confused head, and the complications of being manically depressed. And by her side, a corgi slept. The old Welsh corgi survived the wife, and the old man continued his life. On the bedroom walls, in lilac paint, he crafted flowers and vines and his own space. In lilac polish, he painted his toes and kept the lawn neat, and the lilac house breathed ping pong balls and Christmas lights, and the old man cycled his late wife's bike. In the downstairs loo, a picture hung of the old posh town on market day. In the market scene, in the picture frame, was an old man on an old black bike. When the man was too old for the old black bike, it went to live with a young woman with a vintage taste, and she rode it to Paris